guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how I get my full coverage foundation routine. It lasts all day. So I also included like my contouring and my blush and highlight and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to see how I do my foundation and my concealer and all that, then just keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to start by applying my Benefit Professional, and I'm just going to be taking a little dab of this on my fingers here, and I just start pressing it wherever I have enlarged pores. I'm going to grab my mirror. And with this stuff, because it is like a pore filler, you don't want to like drag it across. You want to literally like press it into your skin to really fill those pores. So I'm going to start with my concealer, and I'm using MAC's Pro Longwear Concealer, and I'm in the shade NC15. I'm just going to take my finger and start dabbing it on in kind of like my worst areas. And then I like to let it kind of set right there just for a few seconds until it kind of gets a little bit thicker, and then I'll blend it out. The brush that I'm going to use to blend it out is just by Coastal Scents. Sigma makes one as well. It's just the angled kabuki brush. So then I just kind of stipple over it rather than, again, like doing that pulling, dragging motion, because I feel like that just kind of removes product. And I like doing concealer before foundation simply because it helps me kind of save product. I don't need to use as much foundation to cover everything. As you can see, it already looks a lot less red, just a lot better in general. So for foundation, I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus, and this is just my absolute favorite holy grail foundation. It's medium to full coverage, and it stays matte on my skin. I could wear this without a powder, but I do like to put a little bit, the powder that I use gives a little bit more coverage just to help throughout the day without my foundation kind of fading in the areas that I don't really want it to be fading. So again, I'm just taking the exact same brush, and I just put a little bit on the brush, and I'm just going to start dabbing that everywhere. And I like to start with thin layers, and then I can always go back and add more if I need to. So and just start like pressing my brush against my skin. And then I just go back in on the areas that I need to. I don't go all over my face again. Because really, like, my problem areas are just kind of like right along here. My forehead is usually pretty clear, and my nose is pretty good. I actually like using less product on my nose and kind of like right here, just because I do have some freckles that I like to show through. So again, just kind of patting that on. And again, you don't need a lot of product, just a little bit to kind of cover everything. You don't need to do thick layers all at once, because that's gonna just look mask-like, and it's not gonna look natural, or as natural as makeup is gonna look on anyone. And then whatever I have left, I just bring down my neck to help blend everything together, even though this foundation is a pretty good match for me. So now, as you can see, my under eyes are looking a little bit dark, so I'm just going to take a little bit more of my MAC Pro Longwear and just dab that underneath my eyes. And I just kind of extend it out past my eye a little bit, and then I bring it down as well. I also make sure to get the inner corner, the inner part of my nose here. It just tends to get really dark. Okay, so as you can see, That is a lot better. So now I'm just going to powder my face before I go in with my bronzer and blush. I just find that putting down a powder all over first helps to prevent the bronzer or the blush sticking in one spot and being difficult to blend. So I just like to take my the Physicians Formula Mineral Loose Powder, and this is, it could be a powder foundation that I have used it as such before, but you really have to pack it on to get full coverage. So what I like to do is I just take this flat top kabuki and I just take a little bit, and then I just start to put it on the areas that I need the most coverage, and then whatever's left over on the brush, I'll drag it down the center of my face because that's where I tend to get oily. But I do like to put it where I need more coverage because it offers a little bit of coverage and it's just really nice. And then I also put a tiny bit under my eyes, not too much though. So just like that, and again I'm not pulling at it just to keep my makeup underneath intact. So the bronzer that I've been loving lately is the e.l.f. Cool Bronzer, and it just looks like this. So for like my the hollows of my cheeks and my temples and my jawline, I like to take this light brown. It's the lightest brown in the quad, and I'm just using this tapered kabuki brush, again from Coastal Scents, and I just get it on the very tip of the brush and I lightly start to apply it in here, right underneath your cheekbone, just like that. And don't worry, it will be blended out. So do the same to the other side, just get right underneath that cheekbone. And I like to concentrate the most pigment near my ear, and then I also like to blend kind of onto my ears, just so that it's not like a white ear and then brown skin. So, and then I just kind of blend it out a little bit along here. And then I'm taking a little bit more of that same shade, and I'm going to apply it to my temples, right there. And I kind of like to make it kind of a triangle shape going towards my eyebrow. Not like a straight up triangle, but that's like the general shape I like to make it. So there's just like, it's like wider up by my hairline, and then it kind of tapers down into, not a point, but you know what I mean, hopefully. I'm going to just bring that along my jawline to help define that. Okay, and last step for contouring, I like to use this brush. It's from Coastal Scents, and it's just this tapered kind of blending brush, but it just works perfect for contouring your nose. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, so sometimes I will use an eyeshadow, and I like to use MAC's Wedge, which is right here. It's just this matte shade. It's a light brown. Actually, I am going to use that one today, but normally, well not normally, like half the time, I'll mix the light brown, oh sorry about that mirror, I'll mix the light brown with the white. I'll just kind of swirl my brush into both of them, and that works too. But I do prefer the way that Wedge works because you can kind of build it up. It's not like a bronze color right at first, so I just kind of swirl my brush in there, and then what I do, let me kind of get closer, so I start right in the center of my nose. So I just lightly apply a little bit there, and then I extend it up towards my eyebrow to kind of define that area as well. And then just kind of feather it down a little bit so it blends. So then I'll take just a tiny bit more on the tip of the brush, and I will go right along the tip of my nose, kind of making like a triangle little shape here. Same thing on this side, just starting in the middle and then extending it up. And really the key to this is not to apply too much and to make sure it's very blended. Although I don't really blend this edge here towards like the towards the bridge of my nose, I more just blend out this bottom edge of the color, if that makes any sense. So I don't do much blending on the top of my nose. So it's just kind of like an instant nose job. But it's free. So I'm going to do blush now, and I go back for fall. I've really been loving this. I go back into that bronzing quad thing from e.l.f. and I like this shade here. It looks like nothing. Like literally it just looks like nothing when I swatch it. But it's just the most gorgeous, like natural, kind of taupey peach color. I don't know. It looks amazing and it's perfect for fall. Just really warms up your cheeks, and I feel like it looks really good with bronzer. Like it just kind of blends seamlessly with it. So I'm just going in with my Sigma blush brush, and I just try not to touch the dark brown down here because that would not be good. So I just kind of get my brush in there, and I also use this mirror for it. And I like to start back towards my hairline and kind of just blend it forwards. Okay, I kind of changed around my lights a little bit so you guys can kind of see. I feel like I was looking really bright. I feel like that looks a lot better now. I'm sorry I didn't do that at the beginning, but now I know for the next video I do. Okay, so now I'm just going to highlight, and I'm really not picky about my highlighters. I usually use eyeshadows. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use two MAC shadows, and I'm going to be using Vanilla and Floof, and I'll put little things here so you guys can see them up close. But Vanilla is like, I think it's a satin, but you can't really tell if there's any like shimmer to it really. And then Floof is, I think, a pearl. I'm not sure. It's very shimmery, so I stick my brush into Vanilla first, and then I just dab it really quick into Floof, and that's it. So then I just apply it, and I'm just using a fluffy blending brush. So I'm just doing the very tops of my, cheekbones, if I can talk, and I just make sure it's really blended because you don't really want the light to hit it and then have everyone tell that you are wearing highlighter. And then I'm just going to go straight down my nose, a little bit up here, and then for my Cupid's bow I just take Floof and I just dust that right there, and it just brightens it up. Oh, I feel like me again. My hair is back down. Okay, so that's all I do for my foundation routine. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and if you want to see the eye look that I'm wearing, keep an eye out for my makeup tutorial coming out. It's my fall go-to kind of smoky eye. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!